So let's start in your high school days. So Jelani just mentioned, obviously in 1995, KG goes straight out of high school to the league. 1996, Kobe Bryant goes straight out of high school to the league. 97, you end up going to Villanova. But how close were you to following the footsteps of guys like Kobe and KG and going straight from the league?
I know if I would have went to the league in '96, history would have definitely been changed.
Mm,
The Kobe Bryant that we know, God rest his soul, probably would have been playing for another organization for 20 plus years.
mm,
The only reason why I did not go to the NBA in '96 was because I knew I was the 13th pick and I knew I was going to Charlotte. And at that time, it's basically like placing yourself in situations. When you look at that roster, they had guys that was definitely going to be in front of me, a few years before I could even touch the floor. And I always wanted to be a top 10 pick because of the money situation,
hmm
right? When you're coming out, coming from the inner city, you always, thinking about those things. So
hmm
that was always my goal. Once I reached that platform of knowing that the NBA scouts is watching, I could definitely go pro if I wanted to. My goal at that point was top 10. And that's the reason why I did not go um, to the NBA in the class of '96. Now, because of the opinion based 1-2 thing between myself and Kobe, because in my class, as you guys remember, Kobe was chasing me all the way through.
hmm
So our senior year, I went to a camp, and this is to clarify the Rip Hamilton story.
Yep.
Um, I went to ABCD basketball camp.
hmm
My first night, I dunked the ball, ripped my fingernail off, so I couldn't play the rest of the week. My junior year, this is going into the Rip story. My junior year, I was so far ahead of the curve that I decided to go back and play baseball. I was actually doing the Michael Jordan. So I was playing baseball. This is a true story. I was playing baseball, and what Rip was talking about was a game in Maryland. Kobe and Rip went back and played with a Philadelphia-based team, and my guys stayed and obviously played in Jersey. So we met in the championship game at the University of Maryland. So I told the guys, if you guys play in the championship, I'll drive down and play in the game. And that's exactly what happened. So everyone knew I was coming. I got there like a quarter late. Kobe already had like 20 or something like that, 15 or 20. They was already up. So I walk in the gym like Tom Shepard, no stretch, no nothing, just walk in the gym
Oh
and get
shit.
busy. I think I ended up with like maybe 28, 30. Kobe ended up like 40 something. They end up winning the game. That was really the only time we really actually competed against each other.
Mm.
Our senior year in high school, we was trying to get games together. We just never could, figure it out. And then outside of that, obviously competing against each other in the league. But that was the only opportunity we really got a chance to compete against each other because both the McDonald's All American game and the Magic Round Ball game, we was on the same team.
Mm.
Mm.
The story the
So
story for people that don't know, and we'll play this on social, but I believe the story that you're talking about is Rip Hamilton. Uh, he said that Kobe went to him before the game, and this is when you were like 16 or 17 years old, and he basically said,
mhm.
"Yo, I'm gonna kill Tim Thomas tonight."
I remember when he was talking about on your show, like he had the kill list, right?
Hmm.
And it's funny because we were roommates, and it was many times at night that this dude just didn't want to go to sleep. He just wanted to talk basketball, right? And we were about to play Tim Thomas in a Charlie Weber tournament in Maryland, and Tim Thomas
Hmm.
was the number one player in the country at the time. And Cole was just in a room all night, like 1 o'clock in the morning, just pacing around my bed, like, "Yo, Rip, you know, tomorrow I'ma kill this dude." And I'm like, I'm like, I'm like Tim Thomas. Like, first of all, we don't even play the same position as him, right?
Right.
But Tim played on the wing at that time too. Like he was surreal at that time, right? Because he was a six
Hmm.
nine, can handle the ball, can play
Hmm
inside outside. He was like, man, I'm gonna kill this dude, man. He was like, after tomorrow, it ain't gonna be no doubt in anybody's mind who the number one player in America is. Like they saying I ain't the number one player. Watch, Rip. Watch. After tomorrow night, I'm like, bro, go to sleep, man.
So Kobe did have, you did have a target on your back in Kobe's eyes, and that's crazy to hear
Mhm.
that Charlotte was the team. I guess they just want. Was that when they had like what Glenn Rice was Glenn Rice there then?
Yeah, Glenn Rice, Derek Coleman.
Mm-hmm.
Eldon Campbell,
I think Stacy.
maybe.
I think Stacy Allman was on that
Bobby
team as well.
Phils.
Yep, yep.
Mm.
So it was a few guys that in that situation, I'm like, if I go there, they're not gonna trade any of those guys for a young incoming, rookie. So I was like, nah. And obviously I wanted to be top 10, so I just waited one more year.
So fast forward to the draft, you end up going 7th overall to the Nets, and then you get flipped to the Sixers on draft night for Keith Van Horn. And you just mentioned it. I mean, Nova let you play the 3. I think when people today look back on your game, I mean, you're a prototypical 3, could handle the
Hmm.
ball, really like a modern day
Hmm.
player. But unfortunately for certain players like that, the league that you entered back then, you go to a coach, Larry Brown, who's super old school. He's not going to put the ball in your
Yeah.
hands. He's not going to let you do what you want. And then on top of that, you're also playing with Allen Iverson and Jerry Stackhouse. Probably great guys, nothing but love for them,
Hmm.
but they like to shoot the ball a lot.
Well, draft night, I was excited as anything to get drafted by the home team and have a chance to play at home in front of friends and family. I thought that was everything.
Hmm.
My world almost I did get crushed a little bit. 10 minutes later, Keith Van Horn had the power agent and David Falk. David Falk had it out for me because I didn't sign with him. I went with Arn Tellem, so he had it
Shout
out
out
for me
Arn.
from the beginning. So basically, what happened was Keith Van Horn, once he got drafted and realized by looking at the roster, he was like, "There's no way I'm gonna be able to run with these guys, so I want to get traded now." And basically, that's what happened. So I ended up getting, traded. I was still excited because I knew Stackhouse, I knew AI, and my game, I felt as though it fits perfect with those two because they wasn't in my position. You know, AI was a 1 and Stack was a 2. So I thought that the guys that was in front of me at that time really didn't have the skill set that I had. So I just figured it was just a matter of time before I was able to beat them out, for either starting job or more minutes. Getting to Philly, people always talk about those two bumping heads. I didn't see it that way.
Mm.
I just saw that it was two competitive guys trying to establish themselves in the league as youngsters. Um,
Trying to
and then
coexist.
obviously when you bring it, yeah, yeah, and then obviously when you bring in an old school coach that really doesn't, what couldn't really comprehend what was actually going on with the talent that he had
Hmm.
around him, it kind of made things a little bit more trickier, um, to say. And then that's why eventually Stackhouse got traded, and then 2 years in, I got traded. So because basically every year Allen was going up the ladder, was being able to score the basketball and do the things that he was showcasing on the daily. And the organization and Larry Brown felt as though it was better to put role players around them than actual scorers around
Hmm.
them. But then we find out later that you need, every team needs at least 2 or 3 scorers to, win championships. So, me and Chuck, we talk about that all the time, and we both kind of, found that out the hard way. But I thought it was a great situation for me because I was the type of player also that didn't really need plays to get mine,
Facts.
and I didn't have to take a lot of shots also to get mine. And that's no disrespect to anybody. I can get 9 or 12 shots a game and get my numbers. Because I'm gonna rebound, I'm gonna get deflections and all of those things. And shit, if I really wanted to, I just get the rebound and bring it up
Yourself
and
and
go
pull
get it
it
done.
and put
You know what I mean?
and take a shot exactly
Yeah.
or get to the rim.
Have you ever wondered if Chet Holmgren might be a descendant of Abraham Lincoln, or if a UFC fighter could beat an alien in a fight? You might have not, and that's okay. But Shea Serrano and Jason Concepcion from Six Trophies Podcast have. If you love basketball, and more importantly, if you love fun, you gotta listen to Six Trophies, where Shea and Jason serve up the biggest moments from around the NBA with their brand of unbridled joy, banter, and pop culture side quests. Each week, they hand out 6 pop culture themed trophies for 6 basketball related activities. Stuff like the Denzel Washington and Training Day trophy, given out to the player or team having the best week around the NBA. Or the Lauryn Hill you might win some, but you just lost one trophy for the team or player that just can't get it together. Plus, a bunch more trophies for all the good, bad, or just plain head-scratching moments around the NBA. This playoff season, you'll want to make 6 Trophies your go-to companion podcast. Follow 6 Trophies on the Wondery app or wherever you get your podcasts. Listen ad-free right now by joining Wondery Plus.